visible?
Yes, it is.
Shall we give it a go?
Yeah, shall I start?
Is everyone ready?
Okay, I'll start the session.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all my dear parents and students. First and foremost, wish you all a very happy Janmashtami. And thank you so much for joining us today morning. Though you all know me, let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Payal Pawar, and I'm a proud career counselor at the Cambria International School and Junior College. It gives me a fantastic feeling of bliss to organize this wonderful session for our parents and students. Furthermore, I am loaded with incredible pride that our school has always strived to host various events and fairs progressively on a noteworthy scale, which I am very confident is undoubtedly going to help our students steer their careers wheel in the right direction. I'm just admitting also these people. So just give me 1 minute. Yeah. You all have witnessed time and again that as a school, we believe in giving a complete handholding to our students, be it in selecting subjects after grade 8 or selecting stream, college, career, courses, portfolio building, non-academic engagements after grade 10, 12, or applying to universities, be it Indian or international. The school has always strived for paving the students' education roadmap. So hence today we have arranged a very important session for you wherein our respected speakers would guide you on various and important exam like SAT, IELTS, TOEFL, because these exams, in case if any student is planning to study in India or abroad, these are the exams which are very vital and will play a very important role. So the respected speakers of the day are Ms. Anagha Pawar and Mr. Ankul Goyal from SG Migration and Education Consultants. To just give you a brief introduction about this firm, it's a migration agency based in Brisbane, and it provides clients with a customized visa and management service, as well as overseas immigration assistance tailored to their individual immigration needs. Just to give you a brief introduction about these speakers, I do have Ms. Anagha Pawar, who is the immigration consultant and director of Australia branch. She is an experienced migration consultant based in Brisbane, providing advice and assistance for all visa needs. She has a thorough understanding of Australian migration law, which enables her to provide the best possible solutions in complex migration cases. She has completed MBA in Hospitality Management from University of London and graduate diploma in Australian Migration Law and Practice from Griffith University, Australia. I do have Mr. Ankur Goyal, who is education consultant based in Australia. Ankur adds a unique skill set to the firm, having had a successful career as an international businessman over a span of 15 years. He has completed his MBA from University of Wales in United Kingdom and his bachelor's degree in computer engineering from University of Rajasthan. He specializes in handling complex student visas and student recruitments and registration agencies and universities around the globe. He helped many students and many international students to achieve their goals and complete their studies overseas. So with this, I would request Ankur to take over the session and guide the students on the competitive exams.
Thanks, Payal. Thanks for the lovely introduction. I'm seriously obliged. Hello, students and parents. First of all, happy Janmashtami. And as Miss Payal has already let you know that I'm Ankur. I'm in this industry from last 15 years, working in different domains. I'm running businesses and working as a QA engineer and an education consultant in Brisbane at the moment. And as she mentioned, SG Migration provides consultation for visas, education related things all over Australia. We have offices across Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Sydney. And we got our Indian office settled in Nasik at the moment. So I won't take much time off for everyone, and I'll start simply jumping on what are we here today. So today we're gonna talk about SET. Now, the first question that comes in everyone's minds, what is SET? So SET is called as a Scholastic Assessment Exam, Assessment Test, or a Scholastic Aptitude Test. It was earlier called as Aptitude Test. Now they have changed to Assessment Test. So this exam is required for the undergrad students who wants to take admission to US universities for the bachelor's program. For masters, the story is different. For bachelors, the story is different. So usually bachelor is also called as undergraduate program, which usually students go after 12th. Sorry. Yeah. Now the thing comes up, like when you want to plan the exam, how you can achieve success, what this exam is, what this exam comprises of. So today we're gonna talk about all these questions here. First of all, I'll give you a introduction of the SET. I'll give you the details of SET, like what exam comprises of, how long it is, and everything. And if we have any questions, we'll run our Q&A session after the slides complete. So keep just hold your horses. Keep your questions ready. As soon as we are done with the presentation, we'll start taking your questions. And please don't hesitate. Just ask. No questions are silly questions. Just ask whatever you feel like. You don't know anything, just let us know. We are more than happy to help everyone here. Now, SET, as I already mentioned, is called Scholastic Assessment Test. This is the standardized exam for taking admissions in undergraduate programs or bachelor programs in US universities. The purpose of this exam is to test the readiness of the student for the college or university. So sometimes, like in India, we don't have this we have certain exams for certain fields. Same way, US has this exam but this exam is one for all the fields. It's not like if someone wants to go engineering or medical or arts or music or anything, this is the only exam we have to go through, and then accordingly, we'll see what universities the student can apply for and where the higher the chances. Now, who can take the exam? So anyone above age 12 years can take the exam. So most of the time it's for the students who wants to do the graduation. So generally 17, 18-year-old kids go for this exam. So all the universities in US do require SAT score. So you can't avoid SAT exam. You have to take the exam if you want a good university. There are hardly any universities which does not require this exam and give the admission directly, but there are very nil chances and nil universities. Next. Now, SET is basically divided into two different sections. One is English, another is mathematics. Now, English is again divided into two, which is reading and writing. And same way as maths is divided into maths 1 and maths 2. So they're going to ask you questions regarding algebra, calculus, and this sort of things. Initially, until last year, until 2022, the exam was paper-based only. But after all this pandemic thing, SAT has gone digital now. So for not for US students, US student still have to take the paper exam. If anyone is taking exam in the US, then they have to take paper-based exam, which going to be digitized early 2024. But for international students, this exam has already been digitized. So now you have to take this exam on computer or tablet or anything. There are dedicated test centers for this. You cannot take this exam at home. Although it's digitized, it's online, but still you have to go to test center and take the exam there. So what kind of questions do come in exam? So here are the breakup. Reading. You have to read the passage or question or the fill in the or this kind of thing, and then you have to answer based on that passage, based on like maybe fill in the blanks there, multiple choice questions could be there. Or main goal of this task is to check the capability or the ability of the students of reading, because in US all the subjects going to be in English. Their accent is a bit tight. It's not easy for everyone to understand. So they want that whoever is coming from overseas should know basic English, should understand basic English, so that they don't feel left out. Next comes writing and language test, where they'll give you some scenario or a pie chart or maybe a bar graph or something, and they will ask you to write down that thing. So that's again to check how precisely or how comfortably a student can write down English or can interpret what's happening there and express that in words. Third section, where next comes math, which got multiple choice questions there. So questions will be there, you got to calculate and then just have to answer. Generally there are 4 options. Sometimes there are 5, very rare it happens, but 4 options. One is correct. You have to take just one selection. If the question has multiple answers in the options, it will be notified so that this question has more than one answers to be picked up. Last comes optional essay. So this essay is the third part of the exam, which is usually 50 minutes given to write down the essay. Now, this essay is not mandatory for everyone. Very few universities are there who requires essay. So basically in that, they'll ask you to write down just essay on a single statement. Maybe they can ask you about yourself, or maybe they can ask you about, let's say some invention happened recently, or a little example I can give you, benefits or like advantages or disadvantages of internet. So that's just one sentence, and you have to write down certain words there on which they will find out like how able a student is to in writing an essay or express themselves. This is optional. This is only asked by few universities, like very few universities are there. If students are looking to apply for those universities, then definitely they have to take this optional essay thing. Oops. Now, difference between paper-based and online exam. So the paper-based exam had 52 reading questions, which needs to be completed in 65 minutes. Then writing and language, 44 questions needs to be done in 35 minutes. Math was divided into 2 parts, which is one with no calculator, another with calculator. With no calculator got 20 questions, needs to be done in 25 minutes. With calculator got 38 questions, needs to be done in 55 minutes. So overall, it's more than 3 hours you have to spend there. Now, with the digital system, you got 2 parts of reading and writing, 2 parts of maths. Reading and writing each contains 27 questions, needs to be done in 32 minutes. Maths got another 2 sections of 22 questions each, needs to be done in 35 minutes. The best part here, it reduces the time. So little more than 2 hours and your exam is done. And everything is online. You will be given rough papers to make the calculations and everything. So don't worry about that part. But yeah, you'll get your results easily. So usually in paper, like here, the comparison you can take here. Paper set on paper, obviously, digital on laptop or tablet. Paper takes 3 hours. Scores are available in 2 weeks of time. One of the math section does not allow calculators. Multiple student test on the same form. Digital takes 2 hours. Scores available within a day. Calculators are there on the system, so you can use it throughout both of the exams. And it's unique for each student. So like in paper, let's say there are paper-based exam, let's say there are 20 students. So all 20 students will get the same paper, same set of questions. Whereas in digital, they have some certain algorithms in place. So they will give you different questions. So no two questions going to be similar for two students. Now, we come about the scores. So the total score of SET is 1600, 800 each, 800 for English, 800 for maths. There is no fail or pass thingy. Minimum any student can score is 400, which is least, which is equivalent to 0. Like if you even leave the paper blank, you'll get 400, but that's equivalent to 0. 1600 is top. Obviously, you score 1600, you can get admission to topmost universities. Now, the admission depends upon your score. So every uni has their own cutoff for SET exam. So let's say university A and B have 1400 cutoff. So a student with more than 1400 marks can apply for university A, B. Whereas university C and D got, let's say, 1000. So another student who got, let's say, 1050 marks, so he or she is only eligible for the university C and D. Whereas student 1 can apply for university A, B, C, and D. I hope you must be aware about how cutoff works, because this is the very basic admission process in India as well. How do you register? So, okay, before we go on registration, the question comes when you can take the exam. So this exam is available throughout the year. There are certain dates with certain examination center. At the moment in India, I believe there are 17 exam centers across country. Now, for example, a student is ready to take exam in September. So usually you book that exam a month advance. But let's say you guys are based in Mumbai, you won't find any date in Mumbai in October. You can look for Pune. There is a center in Pune. I believe there is a center in Nagpur as well. So it's not mandatory that you have to take the exam in Mumbai. If you are based in Mumbai, you can take exam anywhere in any center in the country. So if you think I have to take the exam in October, just try to find out which which center got the dates, and you can select that date. So that's how the exam works. Now, before that comes the preparation. So this exam needs some preparation. It's not like anyone can go and just take the exam. So you need to prepare very, very seriously for that if you want to take an admission in a good universities. Along with the admission, some of the scholarships also depends on SET exam scores. So if you got good scores, obviously you have more chances to get scholarships in university. Lesser scores, less chances. Simple as that. So usually we go like 2 to 3 months for the preparation, then give another 2 weeks to revise the thing, make yourself confident, and then book your exam. You can take exam multiple times. So, and it's not like if you are not happy with the current score, give it another go. Prepare another month or 2, and when you are confident, you can take the exam again. So it's not just one-time thing. How to take the exam? Obviously, you need to go on the college board website, create an account there, select the exam center, select the exam date, click on it, and then pay the fee, and your exam is booked. SET fees in US is $60, whereas for Indian National, not only for Indian National, but outside US, they charges 43 regional fee. So altogether, a student has to pay $103 to take the exam. So this is all about SET. Now we come about the preparations, how you do the preparations. So preparations can be done simultaneously. You don't have to prepare first English and then maths. Usually we run classes 1 hour for English, 1 hour for maths. And then obviously students have to put their own efforts as well. How much efforts they're gonna put at home, that makes the main difference. So study the set subjects, reading, writing, maths, essay, that is optional. And then we'll give you some tips on the test day, which helps you to score better marks. Sorry. So as I already mentioned, the exam is 2 hours instead of 3 hours now. Results will be with you guys within 24 hours. You don't have to wait for 14 days. And you can also send the result straight to the universities from College Board website, like basically from your account. And there are online tools as well, which we can provide you if you go with us to help your study. We will take your personalized classes, and then we will give you tools and other study material to practice. So that's all about SET. So that exam is required to take to find out a student's ability of reading, writing, and mathematics. So just the readiness to get into the college. Second comes an English exam, which is IELTS, PT, and TOEFL. There are 3 different exams. They are actually taken to find out how good a student in English is. It doesn't mean that you will get some score or something like you get something out of it. The main reason of this exam is to find out whether a student is good in enough good in English to understand what going to be delivered in the classroom. Will that student be able to look after the assignments on its own? Will that student be able to take the exam on its own, or do they need any interpreter, or do they have any difficulties in understanding English? So these exams gonna find out where a student it stands in terms of English understanding. Now, obviously, these are point-based exams again. Universities have their own requirements. Obviously, topmost universities needs the top scores. Normal universities, minimum, most of the time, universities require 6 band in IELTS. So IELTS work, okay, let me give you the comparison. Okay, first of all, what is IELTS, what is PT, what is TOEFL? So IELTS is International English Language Testing System. PT is Pearson testing test of English, and TOEFL test of English as a foreign language. For US, TOEFL is the common one, which US universities accept. After pandemic, some of the universities have started taking IELTS and PT as well, but still majority of the universities go for TOEFL. Very rare universities are there which will either which will take either of the 3 exams. So PT, the validity of the score is 2 years, IELTS 2 years, TOEFL 2 years. Versions in PT, you got academic and general. So academic is for the students. General is for people who just want to migrate there on work basis or or like settlement basis. Same with IELTS, academic and general. Academics for students, general for other people. In TOEFL, there is no academic or general because TOEFL is for students only. Now TOEFL they have again it was used to be paper based before, but now we got internet based, which is again digital form of exam, which is always good because you take that exam in just 1 day. Now here, test duration. So Test availability of PT, 365 days. TOEFL, 60 plus times a year globally. So there are very specific dates for TOEFL. And IELTS, very limited. Same thing. They have their different centers. They have their different dates. So again, we have to work out which center is the closest to us and what's the best date we can take the exam. Exam registration time for PT, just a day before you can book. For TOEFL, at least 4 days before you take the exam. And for IELTS, at least 15 days before you take the exam. Test duration, 2 hours for TOEFL and PT, while IELTS in 2 hours 45 minutes. So IELTS always done in 2 different sittings. One is exam. Second is face-to-face speaking exam, which actually done in presence of an examiner from IELTS body, which is called as speaking exam. So majority of the time, all these 4 are divided into 4 sections: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Reading, you have to read the passage and answer the question. Writing, same thing. You will be given a topic and you have to write down certain words. Listening, you got to listen a recording and then answer the question. And speaking, they will ask you the question and you have to speak out, where they will find out, where they will go with like how fluent you are in English, how well you understand the English language. So the main purpose of these 3 exams is to find out how well a student can understand English language when the lectures and other things are delivered in the university. Now, for PT, score reporting unlimited is free. For TOEFL, 4 universities are free, which is included in the exam fee. If you want to send your TOEFL report to other more than 4 universities, then $20 you have to be paid to the institution, not the institution, to the body, governing body. For IELTS, 5 universities free, and then 1,500 per university. Test fees, PT is cheapest, which is 15,900. TOEFL is $195. IELTS 16,250. Results for PT are available in 2 days, for TOEFL in 7 days, and for IELTS in 13 days. Now, why in 13 days in IELTS? Because IELTS exam happens in 2 different settings. So one you book for your exam and another is booked for your speaking exam, which is done in presence of an examiner. So this is another breakdown for the exam. We can send this to your institute and you can have this as a printout, or you can keep that one. So as I mentioned, 4 modules: speaking, reading, writing, and listening. Total questions in PT is 71, IELTS 85, and TOEFL 75 to 100. Time, PT 3 hours, IELTS 2 hours 45 minutes. And for TOEFL is 4 hours and 30 minutes, which is usually happen for the paper-based. For internet-based, now it's just little more than 2 hours. So I won't give you much detail on this one because it's a lot to take in, but majority things I have already explained you. Now, this is the comparison between the points and the numbers you get in different exams. So IELTS works from band 1 to band 9. TOEFL works from 0 to 120 points, internet-based. Paper-based. Computer-based from 0 to 300. And Pearson Academic, which is PTE, that goes from 0 to 90. So basically they are from 0 to 90, but as you can see at the last option, extremely limited, which is if a person is scoring less than 4 in IELTS, less than 31 and 93 in TOEFL, respectively, and less than 30 in PTE, their English is considered they considered as non-English speakers, and none of the universities will accept that score. Majority of the time, as it says, competent, which is 6. So 6 or 60 to 78 in TOEFL IBT, TOEFL paper based, 70 to 210 TOEFL computer, and 50 to 58 PTE. So this is the competent English. So a student have to score at least this much of scores to get admission, to apply for admission to universities. Now, same thing, the better the score, better the chances to get admission, better the chances to get admission in better universities as well. Now, IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, I have already explained you guys, IELTS and PTE are globally accepted. TOEFL is globally accepted too, but TOEFL is more standardized in US. IELTS and PTE are more good for if you want to go UK, Australia, European countries, they are good for that thing. PTE, okay, out of these three, PTE is the most easiest one. Very easy to crack, very easy to get good score in PTE. But as I said, US, majority of the time, we have to look after TOEFL. Let's some more things. So these are the websites for all these exams where you can, same thing, create an account, select the center, select the date, and pay for them. Fees and everything I have already clarified. If you guys need, I can send those things again, no issue at all. So here we come to an end for our description of SET and English exams. Are there any questions? Please feel free to ask. Either you can put it in chat, or if you can directly just ask on your, just unmute yourself and ask the questions. Happy to answer all the questions here.
Students, in case if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, unmute yourself and ask the question, or put it in the chat box.
Okay, sorry, Mahika, I didn't read your message earlier. You said my voice is not clear. Is there anything in particular you would like to ask? Mahika, are you online?
Sir, I can see, Ankur, I can see a question which is directed to me and to be asked to you. Is the fee for SAT, one second, is the fee for SAT to be paid in US dollars only?
Yes. So when you jump on the website, they will give you the conversion as well, depends upon that date, whatever conversion rate is on the current date. But yes, that will be counted in, like, let's say US dollar on that day is 85. So they'll just 103 and 85. You pay through your credit card and they'll just charge it in Indian currency, but they will calculate it.
Ankur, I have
Yeah.
one of my student who had gone to give his SAT exams. However, unfortunately, he missed to carry the original Aadhaar card. So unfortunately, those people did not allow him to give his exams, and now he is unable to reschedule it. So could you help in fixing this up? I mean, how this can be done?
No. So that for that, you got to contact the center or the college board website that this happened. And in because this is not in anyone's hand, so only college board can take actions on that. So just write them an email that this happened with me, and I'm happy to take the exam on this date or whatever earliest date is available, and they can take the actions. Only they are the eligible body. No one else can take actions on that one.
So is it, I mean, if I've understood correctly, is it like, for example, if I have scheduled my SAT exam on so-and-so date, and before I give the exam, I understand that, say, before 10, 15 days, I understand that I would not be able to give my exam on that date, then I can go to the college board and change, I mean, reschedule it. But once the date has gone, then, I mean, it's a little difficult to reschedule and you'll have to start the entire process again. Is that what has to be done?
Certainly, that is correct. So you have, if my, I'm not 100% sure here, I'll find out for you, but majority of the time, all the exam bodies give you 4 days before the exam to reschedule it. Some of them even gives you 24 hours to reschedule the exam. But once the
Okay.
date is gone and you haven't rescheduled or canceled the exam, then that exam is forfeit, the fees is forfeit.
So in that case, I think you'll have to, you will be penalized and you'll have to pay the penalty fee as well, right? If I'm not wrong. I mean, if your date is
No,
already passed.
no. There are no penalty fees on that one, but the main penalty you have already paid is your exam fee. So you
Oh,
can book another exam again, but yeah, obviously there are highly unlikely that they will let you reschedule on your previous fee.
oh.
Okay, I got some
I have
questions
one more.
here in the.
Yeah, even
Sorry,
I
you
have
go.
a lot of questions in the chat box.
Yeah, okay. I'll go through my list here. So
Okay, fine.
Anika has asked, is SET valid only for US? Yes, SET is only for US because those US universities do require this exam for bachelor's courses. For master courses, there is a separate exam. Soham, how do we prepare for IELTS? So we can help you out with that. We do run classes for IELTS, and there are other institutes as well. So you can do a bit of research. But if you want to take classes with us, we are more than happy to help you out with that. Next, come
Ankur, what
with
you can do is you can stop the screen sharing. I mean, we would get a better view.
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Am I visible to everyone now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Great. Okay, let me jump on the chat one more time. Okay, so Mufaddal, sorry if I pronounce your name incorrectly. My apologies. Which other country accepts SET exam scores? Only US. Which countries accept these exams for entrance? Mostly SET. So SET, as I mentioned, is for US. If you talk about Australia, there are no exams for undergrad program. All they will look is up to 12th, how was your performance? And based on that, they will give you admission. So none of the university in UK or Australia ask for SET exam or any kind of exam for their bachelor's or master courses. It's just US who ask for SET exam for undergrad courses. Let us know fee of training of IELTS. There's Atharva. Atharva, definitely you can connect to Miss Payal with for that one, and we can send you all the details.
Ankur, I have one question here. Which test is better to give if we are applying for both US and UK universities?
You can go for TOEFL in that case because some of the UK universities do accept TOEFL as well. But for UK, PT is more precise because it's little bit easier than other exams. It's better chances to score good, to get a good score in PT. But
So
TOEFL is fine.
if a student is planning to apply to both the universities, US and UK, I mean, TOEFL would be the best option.
No, there is a catch. You have to check with the university what exams they are accepting. Not all the UK universities will go with TOEFL.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as I said in presentation, for US, the most acceptable exam is TOEFL. For UK and other countries, PT and IELTS. So majority of the universities will go PT and IELTS. For UK, Australia, and other European countries. For US, TOEFL is the English exam. But it depends which university student wants to go. We can find out for them whether the university will accept TOEFL or not. And if they do, then there is no need to take another exam.
There is a question by Neerav. He says, essay being optional for SAT, excluding it, also the max score is 1600.
Yes, yes. Because as I said, essay is required by certain universities, not all universities. So 1600 is for just reading, writing, and mathematics, which is 800 and 800. So you can break it up as English exam and maths exam, 800 each, and then essay is optional. So essay got no marks. They got certain different criteria, but that depends upon the universities which requires this essay thing. Hope
There's a question by
yes.
Neha. Ankur, are there any
Yeah.
limitations or validations for SAT exam as like IELTS have 2 years validity?
Okay, so SET doesn't have any validity criteria, but universities like to not majority, but I think all of the universities will go uh, basically your test results should not be less than 2 year old. Majority of the universities will go with your score, which is under 2 years. If it's more than 2 year, they may 99% time they won't accept it. So there is no validity on SAT exam, but universities have their own certain criteria.
Question by Ansh. Do I get entrance into colleges if I only give ACT?
ACT.
Yeah.
Is he talking about ACT or that?
Ansh, can you
Yeah.
just unmute yourself and ask your question, Ansh?
Is he talking about AP exam or ACT?
No, ACT he's mentioned. Ansh, are you there?
Okay, I got to get back to you on this one because this is something new. No, so this is a similar exam, but I got to get back to you on this one. Because we are doing this session specifically for SET and other English exams, so I can't really give you much details on ACT, but you can connect with me afterwards, and I'm more than happy to help Ansh for ACT thing.
Okay, Irene has a question, Ankur. If you want to study in other countries, barring USA, then instead of SAT, are there any other exams that we need to take? For example, Germany or Europe?
As I said, Germany, like European countries, UK, Australia, they don't require any exam. You can directly get admission based on your 10th and 12th performance. IELTS, English exam is required. SET is not required anywhere. English exam is mandatory for all universities, no matter which country you are going. So IELTS you have to look after, but SET is just for US.
And basically, what documents are needed for SAT exams?
What do you mean by documents?
I mean, that's what Dhiren is asking. What documents are needed for SAT exams? I mean, Dhiren,
Dhiren,
are you
if you
trying
can,
to ask when you go to the center, or I mean, what exactly is your question?
Ma'am, my question is what documents are needed, for example, Aadhaar card, our 10th exams, like those type of documents.
is if you get your passport on, then you are good to go. So basically, they just need to identify your identity, whether the right person is coming to take the exam. So Aadhaar card is okay, but I would always recommend go with the passport thing, original, not a copy. They won't accept your copies. They just need original ID cards. And that we will obviously explain to you once you are ready to get into, like, if you are ready to take the exam, we'll definitely give you the checklist. But passport is the is the question, is answer to all the documents questions.
Thank you.
Ankur, are there any mock trials for IELTS? I mean, Atharva has a question. He says, is there any mock trial for IELTS? And how will I find it and how many times?
Mock trials, like, is he talking about mock exam?
Atharva?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once you start preparing, we'll send you mock exams and everything. We'll send you the links and everything. So that's completely up to us, and you can take them as many times as you want.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I got few questions here. Ashmi, sorry if I pronounce your name incorrectly. How many words are we expected to write in the essay section of the set? So it depends what they will let you know in the question. If they require 80 to 100 words or if they require 150 to 200 words, it completely depends upon the question and it will be written there. Okay, next question again from Mufadal. Which exam should we give if we want to study in European countries? So for English, yes, you have to take IELTS PT. For like, there is no exam as set in other countries except US. I got part. Sir, you said that these exams are valid outside India. So if we want to study only in India, then what can we do? As we can't give the JEE and NEET on the basis of our Cambridge curriculum. What do you mean if you want to study in India? Part, if you can please unmute and give me some more clarification on your question.
Who's asked that question, Ankur?
Parth Madhi.
Parth, can you just unmute yourself and put across your question? Is that Noam?
That's all good. I'll because I don't completely understand what you exactly trying to ask me, Parth. If you want to study like online, so if you want to be in India but you want to study in US universities, same process needs to be followed. Doesn't matter if you are on campus or off campus, the process is going to be same if you want to take admission in any universities outside India. If you're talking about taking admission in any Indian universities, then we have to follow their pathway, like what are their process, how they will let you get into their universities. Yeah, and you can email me your question if you need some more clarification on that one.
Ankur, Noam has a question. He says, do longer essays correlate to better grades?
No, definitely no. They will give you limit for words. If it says 80 to 100, no less than 80, no more than 100. So you have to be between that. It's not a history exam where you write 6 pages and you'll get 6 marks or 10 marks. Definitely, it's a big no. Be in words limit, please.
Are there any more questions?
Yeah, I got few questions here on my chat. So, Athar, what exam we need to attain to apply in Canada? IELTS and PT or TOEFL? TOEFL? No, not TOEFL. IELTS and PT for Canada. My question is, what documents are needed for SAT exams? Dhiren, I think I have already answered that question. Is there anything you want to know? Please let us know. Okay, Parth said that he's unable to unmute. Parth, you can type in. I'm happy to answer your question here. Then I got Dia. If applying to UK Uni, will IELTS Academic be a better option or IELTS UK VI? IELTS Academic. I mean, what we can. Okay, so Parth has written, I mean, what can we do to get admission in Indian universities? As I said, like, you have to ask them, like, what process they follow. And that varies with Indian universities. So if you talk about JEE or NEET, so the colleges which are associated with JEE and NEET, they will definitely ask for this score. You cannot get into there. There are other ways, but have to check with the universities. If you want, I can help you out there. Just send me the list of the universities if you're looking in which you are looking admission, and we'll try to help you out there as well.
Ankur, Asmi has a question. I mean, she says, do Indian universities accept SAT scores? Or, I mean, are we getting any kind of advantage?
No, definitely not. SAT is only for US. It's just requirement of US universities, and none of the countries will ask for SAT. Okay, Atharv got a question. So what exam we need to attain in order to apply in universities in Canada? IELTS and PT. Like either of them, not both of them, either of them. Any more questions? And hope I have answered the questions which students have asked me. If any concerns, any confusion, please feel free to ask. Or if you get any question afterwards, just let Miss Payal know, and she'll make you connect with me, and I'm more than happy to answer all the queries afterwards as well.
Any more questions, students?
Okay, so I got Himanshu here. Any specific requirements for Singapore? No, just IELTS and PT, either of them. I got, can you suggest, Mufaddal again, can you suggest any exam related to medical fields in Europe? Okay, so if you want to go in medical field in Europe, that's a completely different story. IELTS, PT, definitely, either of them you have to take. And then the university will definitely look after your transcripts of 10th and 12th. If they find you suitable, they'll offer you the place. If they don't find any student suitable, they won't give the offer. So it works the same way as other fields. Janvi, kind request not to mention my name. Do almost all countries. Sorry, really sorry about that. Okay. Do almost all countries require IELTS TOEFL exam, even if you not planned which country to study in abroad? Is it a good idea to give it anyway? See, it's not a bad idea to keep the score with you handy, but as I said, the score is valid for 2 years. So if you don't make up your mind in 2 years, the score is gone. So you'll be putting your time, your efforts, your money, and everything in taking the exam. So if you are really keen to get into a overseas university, then it's a good idea to keep it. Or if you are not planning now, or maybe after 1 year you are thinking, then also it's not a bad idea to keep the score handy, because in that case you won't be putting another 3 or 4 months in preparing and taking the exam. You can straight away apply for the university. Which competitive
Ankur, any
exam is...
specific requirements for applying to Finland?
No, just IELTS and PT. European countries will look for IELTS and PT. Afterwards, like in European countries, after taking the exam, they do ask you to learn the local language, which is always good. Like in Finland, Finnish is the local language, which is always good to learn because it will make your life easier to communicate with locals. But in terms of university, no, there is no specific requirement for it. Okay, another question. Which competitive exam is mostly accepted in Australian universities? IELTS and PT for English language, and no exams are required for Australian universities. Okay, if we choose amongst IELTS and PT, which is easier? PT is easier than IELTS. So it's easier to score good marks in PT.
Any more questions, students?
Any more questions?
Atharva has a question for Denmark, Ankur. I mean, requirements for applying to Denmark.
As I said, European countries require IELTS and PT, obviously as English exam. Other than that, there is no requirement. Like SAT is only for US, and no other exams except IELTS and PT require that. Yeah, obviously universities have their own admission process, so that we have to keep in mind while applying to the universities. Any more questions, students?
I don't see any questions directed to me.
Yeah, I don't see either. Oh, I got one. Apart from American and European countries, are there any countries that require these exams, referring to TOEFL and IELTS? All countries will require, all English speaking countries, or the countries like European countries do got their own languages, but they do deliver lectures and curriculum in English. So they do require IELTS and PTE. TOEFL is mainly for US universities. Other universities outside US, hardly any universities that are there outside US which go for TOEFL, but majority of them will go for IELTS and PTE. No, learning German is not mandatory to take admission in German universities, but as I mentioned, it's always good to learn the local language if you are in European country. Any specific requirements for getting into Indian universities? As I said earlier, whatever universities you want to apply, you have to check their admission process and go through it. Obviously, you are in a Hindi-speaking country. India is a Hindi-speaking country, so you don't require IELTS or PTE there or TOEFL. SET is for US only. So these exams are for overseas universities only. You don't have to bother about Indian universities for these exams specifically. You have to call them or you have to jump on their website and see what admission process they follow. Just go with it and you'll get admissions there. Okay. What is the minimum score required for PTE? So as I said, 6 is the minimum score majority of the universities ask for. But oh, sorry, you asked for PT. Sorry, IELTS. So 45 is the minimum score for PTE, which is called as competent English. And that's the basic requirement to understand the lectures which will going to be delivered in the classroom. But as I said, better the score, better chances to get admission in universities. Any more questions? If not, then we are good to close this session. Hope everyone has understand what's said. Sorry, you are on mute, Payal.
So I don't think so. We have any further questions.
I think someone is trying to ask something. Please go ahead. Yes, we do support preparations for PT, IELTS, TOEFL, and SAT. So if you want to start with us, just let us know. And just let Miss Payal know and she'll connect you with us. And we are more than happy to help you out with all the preparations, with all the exams scheduling, booking, and everything. Okay. In concentrating on US and European universities, what about Asian unis like the one in Japan? Wow, that's a nice question. So Japan universities has their own criteria for admissions. So you just give me the name of if you're looking for some particular universities in Japan, just just give me the name and I'll give you the admission process for that university. What age we can give PT? There is no age limit for PT exam because PT exam is not only for academic purposes. As I said, there are two modules, like two different modules of PT exam. One is academic, that's for students. One is general, that's for people who want to settle overseas. So there is no limit, no age limit. Like if you want to study after 10 years, still you can take the PT exam because that's the requirement for exam, for the university admission. Any more questions?
No, Ankur, I think we are all good to go.
Okay.
In case students, if you have any questions later, I mean, it comes to your mind, you are always free to text me and I'll always get the answer from Ankur, don't worry. We'll end this session, Ankur. With this, we come to an end of today's webinar. And before closing, let me take this opportunity to thank our Honorable CMD, Mr. Bipin Pote, sir, the management and trustees of Cambria International School and Junior College, and our respected principal Hina ma'am for providing us this platform. I also thank Ms. Anagha Pawar and Mr. Ankur Goyal for their valuable suggestion and sharing their knowledge with us. And I'm sure our parents and students will have a few valuable takeaways from this session. Last but not the least, we thank our dear parents who made themselves available from their busy schedule. We appreciate the efforts taken. So thank you all for joining us this morning. Have a good day.
Sorry, I just got last question from one of the student. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
So the question is, are there any medical or engineering competitive exam like one in India or we want to take an aerospace engineering course, we can take it just applying for IELTS to take admission in university? Certainly, yes. If you're looking for UK or Australia, IELTS and PTE, either of the exams you can take. As I said, the universities in Australia and UK will assess your 10th and 12th marks and your overall performance, like your extracurricular and other stuff, to offer you an admission. US, SET, and TOEFL. And then again, university will assess your past academic records to give you the admission. There are no JEE or NEET type exams to take admission in overseas universities. I hope I answered all the questions of for all the students, and
Yes,
I hope students are taking something from here. If not, if any questions, please come back to us. We are more than happy to answer all the queries. We are more than happy to help you out with the preparations, applying to universities, give you the details of the universities or the courses or course selection and everything. And I really enjoyed this session. I really enjoyed the questions. There are certain really good questions I found here today. So yeah, I hope everyone else has enjoyed the session. And it was really nice talking to everyone.
Thank you, Ankur. Thank you, students.
Thank you very much. And thanks, Payal, for giving me this opportunity to give some information to students.
My pleasure, Ankur. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. See ya.
You too. Bye.